Alright, in this video we are going to do, after the first shots, a review of another one of my hybrid builds. And what I mean by that, it's a PSA lower with a Bear Creek Arsenal upper. But before we get into it, if you would please subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, and if you could, become a member. Okay, so this one's a little bit different. And the reason I purchased this Bear Creek Arsenal upper with the right side charging handle, you can get them left-handed if you're a left-handed individual or want it on the left-hand side. The price on this was unreal, you know, with the discounts and this and that. It was 175 units, I think, or 170 on sale for the complete upper. And it's a right-handed side charger with a 16-inch heavy barrel with a 1 7 twist is what it was. And there's a couple reasons why I picked this one up to check it out. One, I know there are several companies that make side charging AR-15s with the side charging handles. I know Bear Creek Arsenal has done it for many years, but I've never had any experience or used one. So that's number one why I got it. And also the other reason is this scope that I mounted on here. This is that scope. I reviewed it a while back. This is a 3-9, very basic scope. I don't even know what the name of it is. But the problem with this was when you use the quick detach latch, it goes here. And on a rear charging AR, I liked the scope. You know, it cost like 100 units off of Amazon. It was a nice scope. But you couldn't get your fingers up in there to use the rear charging thing. So I kind of was disappointed in it. And I said, you know what? This scope would be ideal to mount on this style upper, which it is. It's clear. You know, the side charging, so it worked out. So that's another reason I got it, to utilize the scope. Now, one thing we're going to talk about is on the other one, we noticed the other upper, there was it was overgassed, and you could tell because the cartridges would fly forward. This one here does not have a case deflector and does not have a forward assist. But when I fired it, if you notice, also this bulk carrier group is different than a standard one. You have the one large hole here, which will vent your excessive gas when it hits the bolt piston and drives the carrier back. There's a second hole also, which is at the bottom, so your gas is tapped out of these two holes instead of a standard bolt carrier rear charger that has the divot with 2 or 4 smaller holes. And this here is the hole where the cotter pin goes to hold the firing pin in. And when you see it stripped down, there's 2 more holes up here, one for the bolt and one for the little rod that steadies it. Now, this was throwing the brass off to about 3 o'clock. It's still probably maybe overgassed, but I think the reason Bear Creek, and this has a carbine length gas system on it. I think I'm getting those inexpensive buffers, which aren't dead blow, they're solid, so there may be an issue there. That's probably why they weren't that expensive. And I think I'm going to put a heavier buffer in here, then take this out and do some more work with it. See if it tames the recoil and that with it. But overall, you know, the short period of time I tested it, it functioned fine. It shot well. It shot a little bit less recoil in that, but then again, that could be because of the barrel. Type of barrel I got on this, and I believe that was another thing with the price, and we'll go down further and look at this setup. Now another thing, this is a heavy, like I said, heavy barrel, 16-inch heavy barrel, 1 7 twist, and I believe if you look down in here, this is like a 1-inch diameter barrel until it gets to the 3/4-inch low profile gas block with the carbine length gas tube. And then it goes to 3/4 of an inch the way out. So this is a heavy contour barrel. And it's probably why a lot of people aren't looking for that in a short gun. I think that's why I got it at such a discounted price. It's probably an odd one that people don't order. And it's standard rail like all the other types of Bear Creeks we got. This did not come loose. This is not loose. The gas block did not come loose, which is a common complaint on a lot of these guns. I think the newer ones, they have a flat instead of dimples or something. And it seems to have locked in, set screws did not loosen up or move. And so I'm not having any of those problems with this upper. And like I said, the receiver's billeted, kind of heavy, and it functioned fine, shot well. It was kind of cold. I didn't spend a lot of time out there, but I had no problems with it operating and shooting. Now, what we're going to do, we'll go look at the target, and I'm going to do more work with this, and we'll see how accurate it kind of was the first time out. Alright, now one thing you have to realize about all of these budget guns in this price group is they are kind of sensitive to ammo. In other words, certain brands of ammo shoot better in them than others, and there's no way to tell unless you go out and try it. So if you get one and the accuracy is really bad, try some different brands of ammo. Now, being a 1.7 twist, in the center here, these are my sight-ins when I got that scope dialed in. And I was using the Winchester green tip, 62 grain. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and that one's the 5th one. The backstop, when I hit it, the wood splinters and tears the hell out of these targets, so I got to bring some cardboard or something so I can get a better target to measure. But the extreme spread on this, actually, 1 1/8, which is pretty good. Okay, center, about 1 1/8 on there with the government overrun ammo. So that's pretty good right off the bat. It was cold. I really didn't test much. I did a quick sight and got this. Now we'll move the camera and take a look at the other two types of ammo I tested. Okay, we get a better view here. This was the 62 grain Chilean ammo, which in another gun and a couple other guns might be better. So up close you're looking at about 1 inch, but with the flyers, this spread here is 2.5 inches. Yeah, so 2.5 inches at the widest point. That could have been me, or maybe this barrel just doesn't like it. And surprisingly, when we went over here, I had some of the PPU 55 grain ammo, and see, this is where the target got tore up. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. The PPU ammo, let's be fair, about 1 3/8. Yes, the widest point 1 3/8 with the 55 grain ammo, which isn't terrible. And that is with a 1.7 twist, which kind of surprising. So that was the best shooting ammo out of all of them. And like I said, I'll try some more and see if I can get some better results. So, another one of these, I call them a Bear Creek Arsenal hybrid build, because I'm using a lower from another company. The bottom line is, you're not going to be able to beat the price point. Okay, even with sales, discounts, this is consistent. You can go out there now without the year-end sales and put together one of these at a price point that's hard to beat. Now, granted, when you get into these budget guns and putting them together yourself and that, yeah, they're, they're not a $2,000 weapon, okay? But, on the other hand, if you're budget minded, so far I've not had any trouble. I've had acceptable accuracy. And the other thing you can't forget with Bear Creek, you got 30 days, no questions asked, to send it back if something about this upper you don't like, or any of their products for that matter, be it an upper or a complete gun or whatever. You have 30 days to send it back, and they'll, I guess refund your money or whatever. But so far, I've not had an issue with any of it, and actually, at the price point, it's pretty good. So, it's up to you. Like I said, I'm going to have to, and I will discuss, modifying, adding a little bit heavier buffer in there to tame these down. These uppers are available with a mid-length. I strongly suggest, if they're in stock, and generally you find them, get a mid-length gas system on the upper, and you'll probably have absolutely no trouble whatsoever with it. These carbine lengths are a little overgassed. That's about the only thing I can see wrong with it. The PSA lower functions flawlessly with this gun. This side charging affair here is different. I kind of like it. It's something I've never had one like it before. I've never had a side charging handle. Actually, it's pretty nice. Okay, solved the problem. Let me mount this troublesome scope mount on here, and I'm happy with it. I was happy with both of them that I got. So that's about it. Stay tuned, and if you got comments or questions, please put them down below. Thank you.